So I think that's one of the challenges, is to get folks to, first of all, begin to see marriage not as some event, but as a way of being church.
On to the next expert interview from the Marriage Catechumenate Summit that happened in Houston, Texas in June 2023. Meet Jim Barrette. He'll tell you his title in the video, but he basically oversees all of the formation of people in pastoral ministries and parishes in the Archdiocese of Galveston-Houston, which is massive and it's growing. In this conversation, we talk about that and his heart for ministry and how we basically stand on the shoulders of all of those who've come before us when it comes to marriage preparation in this archdiocese. So remember, all of this will culminate into a mini doc that will be coming out soon. All right, here's Jim.
I'm Jim Barrette. I'm the director of the Secretariat for Pastoral and Educational Ministries, basically overseeing the formation for people in the pastoral ministries in our parishes.
What do you see for our archdiocese, and maybe particularly your role in leading the leaders in this? What do you see as some of the hopes that you have for those leaders?
Well, I think for our archdiocese, we have some things that we can build on. You might say, make them relax a little bit about, this is not something we have to do finish tomorrow. So especially, I think the pastors would tend to maybe think, oh, one more thing. And we're saying, no, not one more thing. It's how we do our thing. And how it's not so much what we want them to do, it's more of how can we help them? More, what can we bring to their ministry that can enrich it? I tell people, so I've been in administration for a few decades, so I tell people, if you're in the ministry for more than 7 years, you might think about reinventing yourself in that ministry, because it's easy to get burned out and kind of get to be kind of a cog in the machine and not really see the beauty of what's going on around us. And I think this could be an element of recreating, of reinventing our ministries in our parish.
I love that. I love that idea. It's just such a creative, like you have to be a little bit of you have to have your own metamorphosis, even within your own ministries. Like you have to kind of let the Holy Spirit work a little bit after you stagnate.
Exactly. It's kind of like the frog on the water thing, right? We get to the point where we don't realize that we're kind of numb about what's going on. We're just kind of jumping through the paces. And I think at that point, then that's when we have to open up, pray, and let the Holy Spirit show us the next way.
Jim, I always love talking to you. You always have these little nuggets of inspiration, which is so fun.
And it's the beginning of a very long process that people need to realize. This isn't okay, let's buy this program and roll it out next week or something. It's a systemic change is what we're talking about. We're not talking about adding some program. We're talking about a systemic change in the way we do church, the way we think about vocation for marriage. It's going to take a generation or two.
Yeah. But the way that you're describing it, it puts it into context for people too. Like, this isn't a program, like, kind of throw out what you think you know about what you think we're going to do, right?
Absolutely. And we are standing on other people's shoulders, right? We have, in this archdiocese, we have a long history of working at this kind of a broader picture of marriage preparation. We have a document going back, I think it might go back even 15, 20 years, called Marriage Across the Life Cycle, that was a collaborative effort of several offices to put together some way to help us form people across the life cycle to be aware of the vocation of marriage, to live marriage. And I think we're standing on those shoulders.
Yeah. How is that relevant, or how does it relate to this one, knowing that, this archdiocese kind of has been thinking about this for a really, really long time?
Yeah. Well, to me, it's just formalizing an effort that we had started a number of years ago with Wally and Winnie Honeywell, our family life ministry directors, that they had done and pulled it together. And they had the foresight and also relationships to pull together a number of departments to think this through, from evangelization and catechesis, religious education, schools, youth ministry, young adult ministry. They were all involved in that, and they all took their piece and said, what would we say to people, young people at that age, and what would we say later on, and how does that tie into the preparation to think about somebody I might marry, or how do I want to be married, and then to take that from there to, okay, now I want to be prepared for marriage. And so the more immediate preparation and how those all connect. And so this is catechumenate really puts a much more of a theological, catechumal model to that effort and formalize it. So I think that's exciting to know.
Yeah, because it's like, I love it. We're hearing so much of relationship in our conversations, and how that's accompaniment. It's relationship. And it's not just relationship between two people. It's between the offices and between the programmatic groups that'll be putting things together, so that you're forming a person holistically. And our archdiocese, as you say, has historically done that very, very well. So what's like the next steps in that?
Yeah. So I think that's one of the challenges, is to get folks to, first of all, begin to see marriage not as some event, but as a way of being church and a part of being church. And then have that become the norm or the understanding going back into younger ages, so that when they come to that decision about their vocation, they've already had some way of, some hooks to hang that on, right? Some previous knowledge. Formation.
Great. Well, thank you so much. This is awesome.
Yeah. Glad to be here.